Okay. So this is module number 6, measures of possession. Actually, meron tayong tatlong measures of possession: quartile, percentile, and decile. But we are only going to focus on the two, quartile and percentile. So this module discusses the different measures of possession with focus on quartile and percentile. So for the learning outcomes, you have plenty of time. So please read this on your own na lang. So for the student learning guide questions, dalawa lang po yung itatanong ko sa inyo. So you have to be prepared on how to answer these two learning guide questions pagdating ng recitation natin next meeting. So these are the questions that I will be asking you. What are the different measures of possession and what is the relationship of the median with percentiles and quartiles? May mga notes po ako inside the module, so pay attention dun sa mga notes because they will be your guides in answering the question. So, aside from the measures of central tendency na nai-discuss na natin before, yun yung mean, median, and mode, at saka yung measures of variation na i-discuss pa lang po natin on the next module, module number 7. Meron po tayong isa pang importanteng statistical measure. Ito yung measures of position or location. These measures include standard scores, percentiles, deciles, and quartiles. But as I've mentioned earlier, we are only going to focus on the two most used ones, percentiles and quartiles. These are also going to be meaningful in your researches. So, doon na lang tayo mag-focus. They are used to locate the relative position of data value in the set. So, for example, a value is located in the 80th percentile. It means that 80% of the values fall below in the distribution and 20% of the values fall above it. So halimbawa, nilagay natin na ang value sa 80th percentile ng grade ng mga BSTM 3B students or GWA ng BSTM 3B students ay 1.5. So that means yung 80% ng class nyo ay less than 1.5 ang GWA. Tapos 20% nung class nyo greater than 1.5 ang GWA. So I hope na iintindihan yung idea ng percentile. Meron tayo dito nakalagay, the median is the value that corresponds to the 50th percentile. So, ito yung sasagot sa isa yung learning guide question. Yung learning guide question number 2, relationship ng median sa percentile. Ang median po ay 50th percentile. Since 1/2 of the values fall below it and 1/2 of the values fall above it. So, this section discusses these measures of possession. So, these are the important definitions and also the important symbols that we are going to use. Dito sa module na to, I am not really after the symbols, but I included it kasi baka mag-refer kayo sa ibang aklat. Hindi nyo maiintindihan yung P sub n, D sub n, saka Q sub n. So, these are the percentile, decile, and quartile respectively. So, ano yung n? Ito yung position. So, for example, ang inilagay ko dito ay P sub 80. Sinulat ko P80. Ibig sabihin, it is the 80th percentile or yung value na nasa 80th percentile. Ngayon, ano ang percentiles? It divides the data into 100 equal groups. So, kung meron kayong exactly 100 na respondents, so kada isang value sorted from lowest to highest, yun yung magko-correspond to each percentile. First percentile, second percentile, and so on. So it is the position in hundreds that a data value holds in the distribution. Ngayon, itong decile, sabi ko nga hindi ko siya isinama dun sa mga value na kukomputin natin, pero isinama ko yung definition. So this is the position in tenths. So that a data value holds in the distribution. Kung si percentile, hinahati niya yung data distribution sa 100. Si decile naman, hinahati niya sa 10. Next, we have the quartile. So quartile, this is the position in fourths that a data value holds in the distribution. So hinahati niya sa apat na portion yung data. In this module, as I've mentioned earlier, we will focus on finding the percentile and quartile of the given data. Now, ito yung part 1, how to find the nth percentile of the distribution. So, to make it clear, I included here a sample problem. Hindi na tayo lalayo, yun ulit ang gagamitin natin na data. We have data in health protocols and dining patterns. So, dito, we want to find out the monthly income in the 80th percentile. So, just please pay attention. Paki-confirm lang din sa akin if my screen is visible. Nakikita nyo tong prepared ko na spreadsheet. Please confirm.
Yes,
Huwag kayo mag-alala, i-edit ko
yes,
to. So, hindi maririnig yung boses nyo. Okay, good. So, this time, buong screen ko yung i-show ko sa inyo kasi kasama rin yung steps dito sa isang tabi. Can you see the notepad together with the spreadsheet? Thank you. So, sabi nga natin, using the data in health protocols and dining patterns, we want to find out the monthly income in the 80th percentile. So, since tapos na po kayo sa mean, median, and mode, I assume na mas madali na para sa inyo yung paghahanap ng percentile and quartile kasi sanay na kayo sa Google Sheet. So, this is the first step. Encode your data. So, nagawa ko na yung first step, na-encode ko na yung data ko dito. All you have to do is to copy the data from the BSHM and BSTM data sheet, health protocols, and dining patterns. Tapos i-paste nyo lang siya dito. Ako naglalagay pa rin ako ng respondents para alam ko kung ilan yung tao or ilan yung data na expected ko na i-compute niya. So that is step 1. Napakadali lang. Ngayon punta tayo sa step 2. Choose a cell where you want the percentile value to appear. In this example, I want it to be on cell B17. So si cell B17, nasa baba lang siya nitong 26,000, nung huling observation natin. So ang gagawin ko, para hindi kayo malito, lalagyan ko siya ng kulay na yellow. Yan. Dito sa kulay yellow, dito ko gusto ilabas si percentile or dito ko gusto mapunta si percentile. Lagyan ko lang siya ng keyword dito para alam ko this is the location where I want my percentile to be. Pwede ko rin ilagay dito yung mismong position na niya, 80th percentile. Okay, on B17, magta-type lang ako ng formula. It is equal percentile. Yan, lumalabas na yung mga options ko. Pwede nyo i-click na lang to or i-input nyo na lang din yung open parenthesis. So, type equal percentile open parenthesis, yung left-hand side. And then, lalabas yung sa baba, yung data, comma, percentile. That means, kung naka-highlight yung data, may kulay green siya, naghahanap si Google Sheet ng input for data. So, ang gagawin natin, for the data, select the first observation up to the last and input a comma. So, yan. So, nung na-select ko yung first observation mula 30,000 hanggang 26,000, ang lumabas sa akin ay B2 colon B16. So, ang gagawin ko lang kasunod, isasara ko yung input for data using a comma. Ayun. So, nawala na yung highlight dun sa percentile data. Nandun na siya sa percentile. Ngayon, ano ang hinihingi ni percentile? Ang hinihingi ni percentile, yung value in decimal ng percentile location na hinahanap mo. So, if you are looking for the 80th percentile, you are actually looking at the 80% of the respondents. So, kung 80% siya, in decimals, it is 0.8. So, 0.80. Pwede nyo siyang isulat as 0.80 o kaya pwede rin na may 0 sa unahan. hindi yun magbabari, 0.80. Pwede rin naman na isulat nyo 0.8 na lang. So, pare-parehas lang yan. Nag-aral naman tayo lahat ng converting percents to decimals before at saka yung mga equivalent decimals at saka significant zeros. So, kahit palagyan nyo yan ng 0.80, may 0 sa dulo or 0.8, parehas lang po yung lalabas na value. So, don't be worried with the insignificant zeros. So, ano yung gagawin? After natin na makuha yung 0.8, isasara lang po natin yung observation natin o isasara lang natin yung formula natin. And finally, step 6, just hit enter. So, hit natin yung enter. And you will get the value, 30,000. Ngayon, i-interpret natin siya. May interpretation na rin po ako na inilagay sa module nyo. So, the monthly income on the 80th percentile is 30,000, which implies that 80% of the respondents have a monthly income lower than 30,000, while the remaining 20% earns higher than 30,000. So, I hope it makes sense. So, ganun lang po ang pagkuha ng percentile. Ngayon, baka may magtanong, ma'am, paano po kung 90th percentile yung gusto kong kunin? Paano po kung 95th percentile yung gusto kong kunin? Paano po kung 5% lang? So, sige, isa-isahin natin. So, kapag ka 90th percentile, ang babaguhin nyo na lang po ay yung decimal dito. Instead of 0.8, 0.9. Okay? Now, paano kung ang gusto nyo ay 95th percent? So, 95th percentile. So, this is just going to be changed to 0.95. Ayan. So, that is going to be 31,500 naman. Paano kung 5th percentile? O yung nasa mababa naman, 5% lang. We expect the value to appear here to be really low. Kasi nasa 5th percentile lang siya. So, dapat mababa yung sweldo. So, be careful because 0.5 is 50%. So, ang 5% po ay 0.05. I want you to be very careful when inputting your decimals. Kasi kapag ka significant ang 0, dapat hindi nyo siya tinatanggal. Pero kung insignificant siya or nasa dulo siya, just like 0.8 and 0.80, pwede na siyang mawala. So, we have 0.05 for 5%. Our expected value in the 5th percentile is 12,100. Okay? Okay. Now that we are done with percentile, i-change naman po natin ito into quartiles. Ayan. Binura ko na po yung formula. Dito na lang din po ako magsasagot ng quartiles. So, this is part 2, quartiles. Quartiles divide the distribution into 4 groups separated by Q1, Q2, and Q3. You have to take note that Q1 is the same as the 25th percentile. Q2 is the same as the 50th percentile or the median, and Q3 corresponds to the 75th percentile. On your module, meron po diyang included na drawing. So, ito po yung drawing ng distribution ng quartiles natin. So, the minimum value is the smallest value in the data set. Nandito siya sa dulo. Largest data value, nandun siya sa extreme sa taas. And then, meron tayong tatlong quartiles. Quartile 1, quartile 2, quartile 3. Tapos, makikita nyo dito sa quartile 2, may nakasulat sa taas na MD. Ibig sabihin, yung quartile 2 po, it corresponds to the median. Ma'am, paano po baka may magtanong, ma'am, paano po naging division ng 4 yan? Tatlo lang yung quartiles. Hindi po tayo after dito sa subscript na 1, 2, and 3. After po tayo dun sa kung paano niya dinivide yung line or yung data distribution natin. If you will take notice, mula sa smallest value hanggang sa quartile 1, iyan yung 25%, lowest 25%, of our data sheet. So, meron po tayong isang portion. So, this is portion number 1 or 1/4 of the whole data distribution. Tapos, ito pong from Q1 to Q2, pangalawang division naman yan. Another 25%. So, kapag pinagsama mo yung galing sa smallest value to Q1 at saka Q1 to Q2, magkakaroon ka ng 50%. That is why Q2 is our location for the median. Ganon din po sa taas. From Q2 to Q3, ito naman yung para sa 3/4, 75%. And for Q3, to the largest data value, ito naman yung 75% to 100%. So, meron po tayong 4 para pong line na pinutol sa 4. Ayan. Meron tayong 3 partitions. I hope I made that clear. Dun po tayo sa sample problem. So, sample problem natin, yun pa rin. Using the data sheet in health protocols and dining patterns, we want to find out the monthly income in the first quartile. So, ang gagawin lang po natin, napakadali. Follow steps 1 to 3 in percentiles, but instead of our formula for percentile, ang gagamitin po natin ay itong formula na to. Equal, quartile, open parenthesis. So, ang target natin ay value sa first quartile. Ayan. So, dito ko ulit siya gusto mapunta sa B17. So, I will just input equal and then type the formula quartile. Naglalabasan na po yung options. Pwede nyo i-click na lang yung option, double-click, or just input the open parenthesis or yung left-hand parenthesis natin. Again, lalabas yung highlighted na data. Ibig sabihin nang hihingi siya sa'yo ng set of observation. So, i-highlight mo lang yung first observation up to the last and then separate it with a comma. So, dito po ang atin ng expression ay B2 to B16, comma. Ngayon, ano yung quartile number? So, ang hinahanap po natin ay first quartile. So, ang isusulat lang natin ay 1. Ayan. And then, just enclose your formula with a close parenthesis or a right-hand parenthesis. Okay. And then, finally, step 6, just hit enter. Ayan. So, ito po yung value natin on the first quartile. Ngayon, ano yung ibig sabihin ng 17,000? Yung value natin sa first quartile. Ito po ulit yung interpretation niya. Isinama ko ulit sa module nyo. So, the monthly income on the first quartile is 17,000. So, that value implies that 1/4 or around 25% of the respondents earn less than 17,000, while the remaining 3/4 or 75% earns more than 17,000. Okay. So, I hope I was able to make it clear. Ngayon, paano po kung gusto nyo hanapin ay second quartile? Ayan. So, kung second quartile po yung gusto nyo hanapin, babaguhin nyo lang po yung formula natin dito. Instead of 1, babaguhin nyo lang po siya into 2. And then you will get 23,000. So, supposedly, this value, 23,000, must be our median as well. So, i-try nga lang natin for the sake of representation. So, hanapin natin yung median nitong set of observation natin dito. So, equal median B2 to B16. So, yan. Ang median po natin from B2 to B16, from 30,000 to 26,000, ay 23,000 din. So, just like what I mentioned in the module, parehas lang po ang second quartile at ang median. So, kapag ka po nakalimutan nyo kung ano yung formula for the second quartile, pwede nyo pong gamitin yung formula for the median. Okay? Now, what if we want to get the third quartile? So, again, babaguhin nyo lang po yung quartile number, gawin nyo lang po siyang 3. Okay, and that is 29,000. So, I hope it was clear, and don't worry because this video will be uploaded later.